So One Piece has been trending pretty much all day long on social media, through Twitter and also even on Reddit, where it's one of the top posts. And because of that, obviously, there is spoilers everywhere. And if you're one of those individuals that have not been spoiled, I highly recommend you to stop watching this video, because it's a really good chapter. That's all I'm going to say. It's probably going to be one of the best chapters of the year, but also potentially one of the best chapters of the entire series. At least a part of the top 10, because of just what is within the chapter and everything. So, before I go any further in discussing things, I highly recommend you, like I said, if you care about spoilers, to stop watching the video. Now, if you do not care, carry on. Continue watching. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about it. So, I am not one that typically looks into spoilers. I actively avoid spoilers, and thanks to how big this chapter was and how much traction it's getting today, I was spoiled. And so I decided to just sit down and say, okay, fine. I've already been spoiled on one of the big things. Let's just get right into it. Let's just see what it's about. And from the early spoilers of the chapter, there's a few things to note. For one, Gear 5th. Apparently it's a thing. Gear 5. We're literally going to have Luffy go Gear 5. Which, that's just a big one. But that isn't even the biggest part of the chapter. I know, that's actually shocking to think about. Because when you think about Gear 5, that seems like the biggest thing that could happen within a chapter. But literally, it is a drop in the bucket in comparison to what this chapter actually does. This upcoming chapter that's going to release. And that is, apparently Luffy, his Gomu Gomu no Mi, his devil fruit, is actually a zone devil fruit. Yeah, that's legit. And that's the biggest shock of it all, is that Luffy's devil fruit isn't actually a rubber devil fruit. It's apparently like a human devil fruit, like Hito Hito, pretty much, and it's like the embodiment of Nika, which is strange. But there is some things that kind of fall into place with it that I want to discuss. So one of those things, obviously, besides Luffy now apparently being his own user, is the fact that if we go back to early introductions of zone users, especially in Impel Down, an awakened zone user has insane recovery. You can even go to the One Piece wiki and look it up yourself. Look up, the awakened zone users in Impel Down, the 3, and you'll see that there's literally descriptions saying that they have insane regeneration, and even if they're unconscious, they're able to heal at a miraculous rate, which would explain a lot with Luffy when you really just think about the story of One Piece. Like, really just sit down and think about One Piece, okay? And Luffy's situations where he has been down and out, where he literally looks like he can't get up or move, but he does regardless. It probably is tied into that, a zone devil fruit. For instance, he's able to heal to some degree, and I know he is an awakened, and it's definitely a gray area, but it's still the point, though, is that things are slowly falling into place with it. But let's get into the main topic. Luffy now having a zone devil fruit opens up the door for a lot of possibilities. For one, this means that Luffy isn't just, let's say, a rubber man. He has probably a lot more utility than we're actually aware of. For instance, since he's apparently his own devil fruit user, like a mythical zone, he might have other usages. Maybe, he's able to, I don't know, have fire or something. The point I'm trying to get at is that rubber isn't his main capabilities. It's not just the only thing he's apparently capable of, which is something I am fascinated in. From the spoilers, at least the early spoilers, we don't know the full exact extent of what that is, his awakened devil fruit, etc., with, him now being, a zone devil fruit user. But we do know for a fact that he's probably just not a rubber man anymore, which is strange. It's very strange, especially that direction, because of Luffy always being categorized as a rubber man. And now that he's not, and he's like a zone user, does that mean that he's going to have a hybrid form, or is he going to have a full bestial form? There is a lot of questions I have about that, and I think many of the people that have seen the spoilers probably have those questions as well, because of just that overall reveal. But there's a lot more going on than just that. So apparently the Gorosei, the main head honchos at the top, besides Imu, apparently was hiding the true name, or at least the main utility of what the Gomu Gomu no Mi was. And they were trying to keep it under wraps of what it really was, and that kind of explains a lot with who's who, and why he got into a lot of trouble when he lost that devil fruit. But now it puts a lot of questions in the mix with Shanks, and how he got his hands on the devil fruit, and, how, Luffy got it, etc. There's a lot of things about that now, especially with how Shanks obviously has a connection with the Gorosei. How, is the Gorosei okay with that when, Shanks technically got the Gomu Gomu no Mi? Do the Gorosei not know about that? There's a lot of questions. There is a lot of questions about that, but the big point, though, is that the chapter really... It's crazy. There is insane reveals to it that just, I think, is going to blow us all away when it fully comes out, because now Luffy has a whole new design. Now, I'm not going to be showing the images, because I don't want to get, like, a copyright strike or anything, because it's way too early, so I'm not going to show the images, but if you look hard enough, you'll find it. I've seen it all over my feed today. But basically, Luffy has, like, a new form. He looks like his hair is on fire, his outfit's kind of shifted a little bit, and from the early looks, it doesn't seem like he is possessed, which was my biggest concern. I think everyone that was waiting for this chapter to come out, when we were left with the cliffhanger with something happening to Luffy, and you saw his hair changing, etc., it made us all wonder, oh no, is it going down the route where he's getting possessed by Joy Boy? That's what many of us were probably thinking, and some were even speculating, myself included, that, maybe the hat had its own will, and maybe the hat was doing something, many different things like that. And come to find out, this chapter, he's not possessed. Luffy's apparently in control. He has a new design, however, his eyes, etc., but he's in control, and he isn't possessed, which is amazing. I would hate that whole thing to where Luffy is like a chosen, destined one. I mean, I know he's supposed to get the One Piece. I think everybody knows at this point in time within the story, Luffy is definitely going to get the One Piece. But even though we know that, there's a big difference with knowing that's where the story's going to go, and Luffy is just going to be handed it on a silver platter because he is the chosen one. There's a huge difference in terms of writing, and knowing that Luffy isn't the chosen one really makes me respect this direction of the story, and I really like what Oda went with. I really like that. So, yeah, the upcoming chapter of One Piece is looking to be just straight fire. It really is. It really is looking to be absolutely incredible, and I'm excited to see how Luffy's new awakened form is, because apparently he's actually transforming the landscape into rubber. Now, once again, since he's technically not the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and he's the like a human model zone fruit user now, I wonder if it's just rubber properties or if it's something else, since technically it's like a Nika, like, devil fruit now. So, a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions about that. I guess we'll get those answers as it goes, but apparently Luffy savagely grabs Kaido and just picks him up and slams him onto the roof, which, in his dragon form apparently, which that's insane to think about, just Luffy grabbing Kaido, his entire mass, and just slamming him down. I cannot wait to see the panel of that and how that actually looks. So yeah, just the early spoilers / leaks. I tried to avoid them. I did. I really did. But they were all over the place, and because of that, I was just like, fine. I'll look into it. Let's just see. And want to talk about it. It sucks to get spoiled on such an amazing chapter, though. I am really upset that I got spoiled, but at the same time, though, my anticipation for the chapter is pretty high right now, because this is probably going to be the chapter of the year, potentially the greatest chapter of One Piece. We'll see, though. Could change, obviously, when the full chapter releases, but that's my, 2 cents. But I guess, I'll leave this video here. I mean, if you have, seen the spoilers, what's your thoughts on it? How do you feel about, the chapter so far, at least from what we got? Do you think that it's a good chapter? Do you think it's a good direction that Oda went with? Do you think it's a bad direction? I'm really genuinely curious how you all feel about this, and, how do you feel about Gear 5 now being an actual thing, and Luffy actually, going in? Tell me your thoughts. But okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my content, as always, please leave me a like, subscribe, etc., etc. It does help me out a lot, helps with the algorithm, and, yeah, I'll try to keep this title and thumbnail very spoiler-free. I do not want to spoil anyone, but I'll probably say major spoilers for the upcoming chapter or something. I'll have to think about when I'm uploading. But okay, guys, be safe. Chibi out.